My friends, I come to you today with an extremely important message, a message that, if adhered to, may actually save our civilization from collapse or perhaps even destruction. We face many problems in the world right now, and almost every problem that we face comes from one thing, and that is a lack of goodwill and brotherly love between nations, between people. We have people against each other like we've never seen before. There's divisions throughout the entire world. And look what it's led to. The war in Ukraine is extremely problematic. It, Putin is threatening to use nuclear weapons. It could has a possibility of pulling us into World War III, and if nuclear weapons are used, then all bets are off as to what's going to happen. And then we have the situation with China and Taiwan, and Iran is developing nuclear weapons, and they got their eye on destroying Israel. And so we have all kinds of problems, and it's all reduced to people just not liking what other people think. Because we don't like what other people think and believe, then uh, people want to destroy them or silence them or enslave them or do something to them. And this is a tremendous problem our civilization is facing. And so, but it's not only with nations, it's with people, individuals. Look at the problems we have on the political side of life right now. Used to be when I was a kid, big disagreements were in religion, like Catholics and Protestants were disagreeing with each other and didn't trust each other and so on. And this happened with a lot of numerous different religions. But the religions have kind of evolved. They're kind of getting along reasonably well together. They don't mind if you have a different belief than them, like they used to so much. But now the division is centered on the political spectrum. When I was young, if you disagreed politically, that was fine. If you voted different, you may disagree with the guy, but you could still go fishing with him or eat dinner with him and be friends with him. But not today. With a lot of people, if you disagree with them on just one item, they will actually hate you and want to shut you up and want to silence you and not let you speak. And there's people that are coming after others to do as much damage to them as they can. And a tremendous amount of hate is just spilling over. And when this happens, the media just covers it like this is just a normal thing, and it's not normal, and it needs to be changes need to be made. And but the thing is, the problem we have politically, and it's not only the United States, but it's all over the world. You have left versus right, and it's producing extremism and hate and division. And the division is makes the news, and we see it every day. But I would guess that almost all the major hate and division comes from a small percentage on the extreme. Now, the small percentage on the extreme is getting all the press coverage, and it makes it seem like everybody's that way, but everybody isn't. I believe there's a silent majority that are people of goodwill, and they just want to get along with their brothers and sisters and live and let live. But nobody pays attention to them. They don't really have a voice. You don't hear people on TV saying, yeah, here's my message of brotherly love. And this is what we need to do. We don't hear that. We hear about the divisions every day, and so because we hear it and it's drummed into us, we get a mindset that division is normal, hate is normal. We have to silence those who disagree with us. We have to hate the people that disagree with us. It's like the prophecy of Jesus has come true, where he talked about a time that a person's enemies would be of his own family. We'd have father against son, mother against daughter, brother against brother, and that's what we have turned into. At least that's what it looks like. But think of your friends. Say you have a dozen friends or so. I would guess that about 10 of those friends are people that just want to live and let live, and don't mind if you have a different opinion, and are willing to still have goodwill toward you. There's a couple of them that get all bent out of shape if you disagree with them, or if you are on the wrong side of their ideology. So there's this vast majority in the center that just have not had a voice. And so the solution to this problem, not only the problem of the division among left and right, but of nations, because if brother and sister can be friendly and have goodwill toward their brothers and sisters, then it permeates everything. So if we can be at peace with each other, it leads to nations being at peace with each other. And so I've come to the conclusion that goodwill must be manifest, and that silent majority that hasn't had a voice needs to have a voice. And if a plan can be devised that they can glom onto, then there's a lot of people that would embrace it and promote it if they feel that it can actually accomplish anything. But the big problem has been is that the peaceable people, the people of goodwill, haven't really had a voice in stilling the anger and bringing peace. After all, that was the message when Christ was born: peace on earth, goodwill to mankind. And so this is a message that still needs to permeate society now more than any time in history. And contemplating this, I was reading a passage of one of my favorite spiritual teachers named Dwell Cool, and I want to read you what he said. He come up with an idea for a solution to the problem that brings division, and his idea was centered around a plan of promoting goodwill. Let's take a read of that. Now, this was written 70, 80 years ago, and to his group, and he says this: my group of special workers, such as yourself, must contact these groups, bringing them together on one point only, and that is goodwill. Each group must necessarily be left free to proceed with its own destiny and mode of work. Unity is a necessary ideal and is the reverse side of goodwill. Unitedly, when the right time comes, these groups must issue a great manifesto to the world. Identical manifestos being issued in each country by all the groups who stand for world unity and goodwill. Thus, they will make the word goodwill carry power throughout the planet, whilst disciples and aspirants will, through their thought, make the word unity carry hidden power. Thus, a vast band of men and, of course, women of goodwill will be working unitedly yet independently, and there will be made available in moments of world crisis an organized, ready, and worldwide public opinion of much strength and organization that it cannot be ignored. So we must issue a declaration, a manifesto, or a declaration of goodwill. And we can take this and use it to put to shame those who spread hate and division, because no one puts these guys to shame. They do a lot of shameful things and spreading hate and division, and no one's calling them on it. So what we have to do is promote a declaration of goodwill, and it must permeate society to the fact that if you are against goodwill, then you look kind of silly. And this these people need to be humiliated. They need to be humiliated by showing a an example of love, goodwill, and acceptance. And we need to make that the norm. And we have power to make the norm because we who believe in goodwill are in the vast majority. And so we need to step up and do something about it and set the example ourselves by seeing people that think differently than us as still decent people, because everybody in their own mind is doing the best they can, pretty much. And they just, but everybody thinks a little differently, and we have to learn to accept that people think differently than ourselves, and we have to also accept that we don't always get our way all the time in a democracy or in any political system. But we just make the best of it, and we still love our brothers and sisters and family that think differently than we do, and to give us a tool so that we can be able to make change in the world. We've come up with what we've called a Declaration of Goodwill. We came up with this a while back and promoted it a while, and it didn't get much traction. And I've been thinking about it, and I believe it is possible for it to catch on. And for it to catch on, the different spiritual groups need to promote it and promote the idea of goodwill. It needs to be more than theory. The churches, the spiritual groups, even non-believers and people that aren't on any spiritual path, a lot of them still believe in goodwill. But it's, for a lot of people, it's just theory. But it has to be more than theory. It has to be something that can get some traction. So we put together a declaration, and I'm going to. We've had a number of people participate in producing a video of this, which I'm going to present to you in just a minute. And so I want you to listen to this and absorb it. And we're also going to provide text of the Declaration of Goodwill. And also we have a Facebook page, a group dedicated to promoting it. And on this Facebook group, what you do is, if you believe in accepting and promoting the Declaration of Goodwill, just join the group. When you join it, you're just saying, yes, I believe in the Declaration and I want to promote it. But what needs to be realized is how powerful goodwill is, because goodwill has power to influence people beyond what many imagine. If we embrace it and promote it, it can permeate society and bring peace on earth, goodwill to men, fulfill the prophecy of the angels singing that great phrase. And so let me introduce this video. I think you'll enjoy it and take it in, and also read through the text. And we will be promoting other things around this subject of goodwill, because it is of extreme importance. And think, it can save the world. It can make the difference between complete chaos or peace on earth, goodwill to humankind. We, the people of goodwill from all nations, who desire to see the people of this planet progress in a state of peace, safety, and friendship,
find it necessary to act and issue this Declaration of Goodwill.
Polarizing rhetoric, accompanied with vitriol and name-calling from leaders, celebrities, and media,
spawns tension among the masses and undermines goodwill and cooperation.
Therefore, we, the silent majority, and people of goodwill on this planet, have decided to take action and issue a call to correction.
Such a correction is essential, for our leaders have power to take us into wars and conflict that could destroy our civilization.
We do not expect our leaders to agree with us or each other on all matters, for that is beyond the present ability of most individuals.
But there is one thing all can do, that will pave the way to quieten the present conflicts and opening the door to peace on earth.
We can all be civil to each other and send goodwill, rather than the prevailing ill will that we currently witness.
Loving our neighbor as ourselves is at the core of the teachings of every great messenger from the past.
And we need to be reminded of this now, perhaps more than any time in our history.
The great majority of us who are not in power do not hate those who vote or think differently than ourselves, nor do we care about their race, sex, or status.
We are willing to extend a hand of friendship and goodwill to all who will accept it.
We do not call others hateful names or desire to hurt them,
but seek harmlessness in all discourse and interaction, and expect our leaders to do the same.
Many leaders and media personalities seem to think personal attacks are justified, as it highlights how bad the other guy is in order to effect change.
But negative tactics often result in negative rather than positive change.
Calling our neighbors haters when they see themselves as loving people results in resentment and often fuels the emotions of the projected name-calling.
The attack thus brings forth the hate that was not previously there.
So much grief in the world can be avoided if our leaders would embrace the spirit of goodwill, as it is longed for in so many of us who silently watch these reckless attacks.
Many leaders and media personalities understand this principle and use it to polarize and create false animosity where none should exist.
Therefore, we, the people of goodwill, call on leaders and media who fail to embrace a higher path
to match the positive spirit of goodwill that exists in most humanity, the common people.
The day of watching leaders bring us to the brink of destruction is over.
All those in position of power and influence must be held accountable for their intentionally caustic speech, which incites anger and divides us.
Sending peace and goodwill is our charge as we seek to transform our societies throughout the world.
It is true we have problems to solve which require rigorous debate
and uncomfortable discussions, but we cannot solve them by demonizing each other.
If we look for the best in one another and give our neighbors the benefit of the doubt, we have a much better chance of solving problems and reaching agreement.
Indeed, we need to start with ourselves. If each of us does our part to extend goodwill and friendship to all, and encourage others to do the same,
the world will be healed,
and we can safely enter into a new era
of peace and goodwill.